Module 3. The Human Body. Are we really what we eat? Section 1. Why we want to eat. Eating is an essential part of human life, and our desire to eat is driven by a complex interplay of physiological, psychological, and social factors. Food can also be a source of pleasure, comfort, and emotional regulation, and social factors can influence our desire to eat. Understanding the various factors that drive our desire to eat is essential for maintaining a healthy relationship with food and promoting overall health and well-being. Let's focus on the physiological factors. Our bodies require a constant supply of energy to carry out the essential functions of life, including breathing, circulating blood, and maintaining body temperature. This energy comes from the food that we eat, which is broken down into nutrients and absorbed into the bloodstream. When our bodies run low on energy, they send signals to our brain to initiate hunger and motivate us to seek out food. These signals come in the form of hormones such as insulin and glucagon, amongst many others, to regulate the feelings of hunger and satiety. The overall goal of digestion is to break larger molecules, such as carbohydrates, proteins, and fats and vitamins, into smaller molecules that the body's cells can use. Before discussing the details of the process, it's important to understand how the body is organized in general. Organization of the body. The human body is organized into several levels of increasing complexity, each with its own unique structures and functions. Let's start with the smallest unit of life, the cell. Cells are the basic building blocks of all living organisms and are responsible for carrying out the essential functions of life. Cells come in many different shapes and sizes and are organized into tissues. Tissues are groups of cells that work together to perform a specific function. There are four main types of tissues in the body: epithelial, connective, muscle, and nervous. Organs are groups of tissues that work together to perform a specific function. Examples of organs include the heart, lungs, liver, and brain. Organs are organized into organ systems. Organ systems are groups of organs that work together to perform a specific function. There are 11 major systems in the human body: the integumentary system, skeletal system, muscular system, nervous system, endocrine system, cardiovascular system, lymphatic system, respiratory system, digestive system, urinary system, and reproductive system. Each system has its own unique structures and functions, but they all work together to maintain the body's overall homeostasis. While cells vary in their appearance and function, there are some features that all cells share. These features include the following: a cell membrane, which is an outer border enclosing each cell of the body. The cell membrane is described as selectively permeable, meaning that it allows some materials to pass in and out of the cell freely, while preventing others. The cytoplasm is the liquid within the cell. The organelles are tiny structures that perform many different cellular functions. Examples include the nucleus, where the DNA is located, the mitochondria, where the cell's energy is created, and the ribosomes, which are used to make the protein. The process of digestion. Digestion is the process by which our body breaks down the food we consume into smaller molecules that can be absorbed and used for energy, growth, and repair. It's a complex and multifaceted process that involves a range of organs, enzymes, and hormones working together in a coordinated manner. Let's start with the mouth. When we eat, our teeth mechanically break down the food into smaller pieces, while our saliva, which contains an enzyme called salivary amylase, begins to break down complex carbohydrates into simpler sugars. Once the food is chewed and mixed with saliva, it forms a bolus that is then swallowed. As we swallow, a structure called the epiglottis is pushed over the opening to the trachea, or the windpipe, to prevent food from entering. The bolus now travels down the esophagus, which is the food pipe, and into the stomach. In the stomach, the bolus is mixed with gastric juices, which continues the chemical and mechanical breakdown process. After the churning of the stomach and mixing of digestive enzymes is complete, the resulting liquid, now called chyme, is advanced to the small intestine. In the small intestine, where the majority of digestion and absorption takes place, the food slowly gets absorbed into the body. The small intestine is lined with finger-like projections called villi, which increase the surface area and facilitate the absorption of nutrients. The pancreas, liver, and gallbladder also play important roles in digestion at this stage. The pancreas secretes digestive enzymes into the small intestine to further break down fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. The liver produces bile, which is stored in the gallbladder and released into the small intestine to help break down fats. As the chyme moves through the small intestine, nutrients are absorbed into the bloodstream and transported to the liver for processing. Any waste products that are not absorbed by the small intestine are passed into the large intestine. The large intestine, also known as the colon, is responsible for absorbing water and electrolytes from the remaining waste materials, forming solid feces. The feces are then eliminated from the body through the rectum and anus. Disorders related to digestion. The digestive system is a complex and essential part of the human body. When it functions correctly, it helps us to absorb nutrients, eliminate waste, and maintain our overall health. However, when things go wrong with our digestive system, it can lead to various disorders and illnesses. Some of these include heartburn, which is caused by hydrochloric acid from the gastric juice in the stomach backing up into the esophagus. Gastroesophageal reflux disease, which is painful and consistent heartburn. Diarrhea is when too little water is being reabsorbed into the large intestine. Constipation is when too much water is being absorbed into the large intestine. Irritable bowel syndrome is a disorder that interferes with normal colon function. Food intolerance occurs when a particular food causes unpleasant but usually temporary symptoms such as gas, pain, and diarrhea. The immune system is not involved in the response, unlike with other diseases. Food allergy is hypersensitivity of the immune system to a component in a food. These reactions can be severe and even fatal if not treated properly. And celiac disease, which is a genetic disorder in which the body cannot digest gluten, a protein found in wheat, barley, and rye. Consuming gluten can cause permanent damage to the lining of the small intestine in people with celiac disease.